Hi everyone, Abby here, and welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Garmin Fenix 7S Solar. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned to all my new videos dropping weekly, and so you can help the channel grow. I have already gone ahead and done a full unboxing of this watch, so if you guys have missed that and you want to see it, you can find that at the top right or in the description below. So I have the Fenix 7S Solar here in the color Light Sand Rose Gold, and this currently goes for $1,039.99 Canadian or $799.99 American. So it's definitely a really expensive watch, guys. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like on me. And I do have a 7-inch wrist. And I've listed all the wrist sizes this can fit on screen for you guys so you can see if it will work out for you. But now I'm going to go into the major highlights about this watch. So it has a 1.2-inch sunlight visible transfective display. It's a color display. It's also an always-on display. It does have full touchscreen capability, guys, as well as full button operation capability. And you can turn off the touchscreen if you want to, guys. It has a quoted battery life up to 11 days as a smartwatch, or up to 14 days with solar charging. It has an updated heart rate sensor. It has thousands of built-in golf course maps, ski maps, the ability to download topographical maps. It has music download capability up to 2,000 songs using Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer, as well as your computer if you have your own music files on there as well. It has many built-in features like Pace Pro suggested workouts. It's Garmin Coach compatible, Garmin Pay compatible. It has women's health tracking, hydration monitoring. You can track your basic metrics like your steps, your floors climbed, calories, active minutes. It has advanced sleep tracking. It has pulse ox, so you can check your blood oxygen saturation. It has relaxation reminders. You can track a variety of activities, guys. Like, honestly, if you could think of an activity, you can probably track it on this watch. Things like open water swimming, running, walking, cycling, yoga, and much more. These are not all of the activities you can track, and these are not even all the functions on this watch, but these are definitely some of the most important, I think. So we have this kind of like indented design with the little kind of Garmin logo here. So looking at the bezel here, we can see that it is stainless steel, and we kind of have stainless steel going on the connectors as well. And looking at the side here, we have this kind of new button guard that is around the start-stop button. And we are seeing a rotating crown, guys, but I will say that there are no usable functions for this right now. Garmin might add in some capability for that in the future, but as of right now, there's nothing. It just does that. And then we have 3 more buttons on the side. We have the upgraded Elevate 4 heart rate sensor. So right now you're seeing the display indoors under some lighting. The backlight is not on, so this is just how it naturally looks. I'm finding it pretty easy to read indoors. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like outdoors. I'm finding it really easy to read outdoors even when it's sunny, and that's one thing I really love about Garmin's kind of traditional displays is a super easy readability outdoors in sunlight. All right, guys, so now I'm going to show you what this display looks like kind of darker conditions when you do have that backlight on. So here you can see the brightness at 100% and 30% in dim kind of low lighting situation. So the first thing you're going to want to know is that there are 5 buttons. We have a start-stop button, we have a back button and a lap button, we have a down button, an up menu, and then a light button. Basically everything you can do with the buttons you can do with touchscreen. So if you do want to turn on the light, you can just go ahead and click the light button and click it again to turn it off. And then if you want to also turn on the light, you can just tap the screen and it will turn on as well. So now if you want to go ahead and open up an activity, for example, you just click this button once, and it's going to open up. So for me, it shows walks, which is my most common activity I do, as the top one here, but you can scroll down and add whatever you want to your favorites. These are some of my favorites, guys. And I'm just going to quickly show you guys all of the activities that you can kind of see on the Fenix 7S here. So you can definitely track a lot, guys, and that's one thing that's fantastic about the Fenix compared to some other watches. There's a lot of different activities, and once again, you can also scroll down and up with the buttons here. So as you guys can see, there are a lot of activities. And if you find an activity you want to do, you just click on the start button here. And then you click it again. So in addition to this being a back button, guys, you can also go ahead and swipe to the right and go back as well. And if you go ahead and hold the light button here, you're going to open up your control panel. So you can go ahead and customize whatever you want to put in here, guys. If you hold this button, the menu, and now we're going to see all of our different settings, things that we can go into. So we could see watch faces, clocks, history, and it's going to go all the way to the bottom. And now we could see everything in our settings. So one great thing is hotkeys, guys. So if you want to, you can set up shortcuts for each of these buttons here. But in addition to that, you can set up different things. Like if I hold this, I open up my watch faces. If I hold the down button, I open up my alarms. And you could set them to other options. I'm going to show you all the options you can choose for the hotkeys. They're definitely super helpful, guys. Now if I hold this button, as I said, this is one of my hotkeys. It opens up my alarms. And then you can just kind of click an alarm to turn it on or off. And then if you want to add more, you can go ahead and add an alarm and then customize it to whatever time you want it to be. All right, so when you're at the home screen, guys, now we can look at all of our different widgets and apps installed. So you can either swipe up or swipe down, or you can use the up or down button as well. And if you do want to see something bigger, you can go ahead and just click that, and it opens it up into a larger view for you. So I really like the layout here. It's really clean looking and it's easy to navigate. And that's basically how you use the watch, guys. If you're someone who's new to button-only operated watches, you're going to like that it does have touchscreen as well. It just makes navigating a little bit faster for those of you. All right, guys, so now I'm going to get into watch faces. So as I showed you before, you just kind of click the menu button to open up your settings, and then you're going to get into your watch faces. So I'm going to show you all the ones I currently have on here. A lot of these are the proprietary ones that Garmin pre-installed, and then you can go ahead and customize them. As you can see, most of mine are customized for purple accents because that's my favorite color. But you can go ahead and choose a variety of different colors. For example, I'm just going to show you guys some color options here. I really like that there's a variety of different color options you could choose because, everybody has a different favorite color. And one thing here that I like that they don't really have on the Fenix 6 is that there is more customizability. So you can now go ahead and choose a data color as well. Typically before we only had an accent color, so we have a little bit more options there. So I'm just going to keep showing you guys some of the watch faces on here. All right, guys, so those are all the watch faces I have on here. Now I'm going to show you the app so you can see some more on there. Now, some of my favorites from previous watches are not compatible with the Fenix 7S. I know it's a very new watch, so we might see more in the future. And then also, there aren't that many watch faces currently out. All right, guys, so now I'm going to get into the battery life about this watch. So as I told you guys, it does have a quoted battery life of up to 11 days as a smartwatch or 14 days with solar charging. And with my uses, which I have on screen, things like GPS runs and walks, daily alarms, timers, and more, I have gotten on average 8 to 9 days of battery life. And for me, that's absolutely fantastic, guys. However, I will say that with solar charging, if I am going outside solidly and it is sunny, I usually get about 9 days with this watch. So with the solar charging here, when you have your watch faces, a bunch of them have options to show a little solar graph here. Today I have about 2.5 hours of outdoor sun activity. So we can see this little snapshot here. So opening up the solar intensity widget here, we can see a bigger graph of what is going on, how much solar energy our watch has absorbed. So here we could see the value. We can also see it on the graph, and this is showing the last 6 hours, guys. So, when I went for my walk, there was a lot of solar energy that was absorbed here. And then throughout my day, as I did some little activities outside, even as I like kind of sat by the window and read a little bit, we're seeing little bits of solar power being absorbed there. And it is effective, guys. So my battery was at 40% and went up to 44% in this time period. So just going about, my day normally, going on some walks and errands, and I'm able to gain, 4% of battery. I think that's pretty good. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna get into women's health monitoring with this watch. So, if you're a male or someone who doesn't really want to see this section, you can go ahead and use my timestamps and skip to the next section. All right, guys, so we do have a women's health tracking widget, and there's another that actually would track your pregnancy, symptoms as well. I currently do have the women's health tracking one, and I'm just gonna show you guys, exactly what you can track and what you can see on your watch and in the app. If I wanna go ahead and add any information, I'm just gonna kind of click start. So I'm gonna go to add new, and this is where you can see all of the different options that you can add. So going right to flow, you can add your flow intensity, so you can go light, medium, heavy, and then you just click one, click done, and then you can add more. So we're gonna go to our symptoms. So it's, what symptoms are you experiencing today, You could also see our mood. We can also see if there's any discharge, and you can go ahead and choose that. And then you could say if there's any sexual activity. And lastly, sex drive, you can input that information here. So all of this that you put on here is going to be synced to the Garmin Connect app when you sync your watch. So I definitely find the women's health monitoring pretty helpful here. It helps you keep track of your daily symptoms, and it has period prediction on the app, which I find pretty accurate, guys. Honestly, it's usually spot on, but if it's not, you can always go ahead and alter that on the app. So I definitely find it a helpful tool here. So I'm just gonna show you kind of my sleep from last night, guys, so you can see what the sleep tracking actually does look like here. And it's a bit more detailed as well. So we're seeing a nice big chart here, time I fell asleep, time I woke up. Now we're seeing a duration. So this is the amount of time I was asleep in general and all the different sleep stages. So in my experience, guys, this is definitely the most accurate I've seen from sleep tracking from Garmin yet. I will say it's still a tiny bit off, but it's definitely pretty good. And if you're someone looking for a basic metric on how you slept, I think this is going to be really helpful for you. For the 7S and 7S Solar, they do not have built-in topographical maps. I don't know why. I guess Garmin was trying to save money or something, but anyways, they give you the ability to download maps yourself if you want to. So I've gone ahead and I've downloaded the North American maps. So out of the 16 gigabytes you're supposed to have, I have 3.6 gigabytes available, and I have about 100 songs on here. So I don't know how that worked out, but I can tell you that you definitely cannot hold 2,000 songs if you do download some maps on here. So that's something to keep in mind. I only have the North American maps, guys, and this is how much it took up. This I had to download because it didn't come with it. I plugged it into my computer to download this, guys, and it took about 2.5 hours, guys, to download these maps. And it's a really long time to do that. It's a hassle. And honestly, I would have preferred if Garmin just pre-downloaded them like they did on the Fenix 6S Sapphire, 6S Pro. All right, guys, so considering the price, the quality, the color, the performance, the battery life, the ease of use, and the accuracy of the Fenix 7S Solar here, I would go ahead and give it a 9.4 out of 10. I definitely do give it a thumbs up. So if you guys are looking to get the Garmin Fenix 7S Solar, I've gone ahead and left a link down in the description for you to use. I am coming out with a full comparison on the Garmin Venu 7S versus 6S, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be dropping on a Tech Tuesday soon. Then you might want to look into the Garmin Venu 2 Plus, Garmin Venu 2S, Garmin Vivoactive 4S, one of those smartwatches, and I have done full reviews on all of those, so you can find that in the top right or in the description below. And one thing to note is that those watches are significantly cheaper than this one by a couple $100s. And if there's anything I missed today that you want to know, just go ahead and drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, guys, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.